today we have with us Shri Ashwani Lohani ji, a distinguished social worker and former chairman for Railway Board. Sir is currently serving as the director for Pradhanmantri Sangrahalaya. He has also served as the chairman and director, managing director for Air India. So it's our pleasure to have you with us, sir, today. So over the decades, you have held several prestigious leadership positions. Among many accomplishments, which achievement do you feel that it gives you the great sense of satisfaction?
See, the posting which gave me the greatest satisfaction was when I worked as managing director and commissioner of Madhya Pradesh Tourism. Because we could take a state which was nowhere in tourism and make it number one. We could take a corporation which is a commercial entity which was loss making for 25 years, make it highly profitable. We could do a lot of things, and with a lot of support of the staff, political bosses, the bureaucracy and the public at large. So that was a posting which gave me tremendous satisfaction, the highest level of satisfaction.
So looking back at your journey, is there any initiative or project that you feel that led you, people or the project you were managing, that created a lasting impact on the organization or the public?
See, one is I was director of the National Rail Museum almost 30 years back. We had a locomotive of 1855 standing in a glass cage in the museum. That was built in 1855 in UK, and it worked in India till 1906. After that, it was put on a pedestal, first in Calcutta, then in a training institute of railways, and then it came to the museum in 71. So I decided to take it out, activate it, create a train, run it, and set a Guinness World Record. In 1995, I decided that. And it happened in 1998. 1997, the train ran for the first time, 17th of October 1997. And we got the Guinness World Record on the 13th of January 1998. So it put India on a different pedestal as far as railway heritage is concerned. So that really brought about a major change in the way people looked at railway heritage. People looked at heritage in general. And it did a lot for preservation of industrial heritage of the world. That was tremendous achievement. That is the model which is here. This was my first Guinness in life, and that brought about a lot of change.
So as you are currently serving as the director for Pradhanmantri Sangrahalaya, so what is your vision to promote legacy and journey of Prime Ministers of India?
This is a museum of its kind in the world. It's the most unique museum. There is no other museum which is a museum on Prime Ministers of that country or presidents of that country or a particular post holder of that country. So this is a museum, only one of its kind in the world. Well, it has to be, it's a unique museum, but it has to be positioned as such. Well, everybody in the world should know about this museum. Such a unique museum is in Delhi, in India. And because it's about Prime Ministers, it's also about India, it's also about democracy. We call it the House of Democracy also. And so our desire is that every Indian should be able to visit this museum, and actually see how democracy has prevailed in this country since the last so many years. Well, the vision is position the museum as a must-see spot for Indians in general and for all the foreign visitors, foreign dignitaries, foreign delegates who come here, to be known all over the world. In the academic part of the organization, because the organization is called Prime Minister's Museum and Library. So there's a big academic part. We've got fellowships, we've got a library, which is a massive library, we've got a massive archives of personal documents. Again, the only archives of its kind in the world. Definitely in India, perhaps in the world. Only archives of its kind. So it is a very prime research center for research in modern and contemporary Indian history. So this should be regarded as the finest research center for research in modern and contemporary Indian history in the country. These are the two vision items which we are taking it along.
Really great, sir. So in today's era of social media and rapidly shrinking attention spans, how can museums remain relevant and continue to engage younger generations with this?
See, if you go to London, you go to a museum. You go anywhere overseas, you generally carry a list of museums which you visit. So museums, besides preserving heritage, besides showcasing heritage, are a prime tourist destination of the city. So they'll always remain relevant. Whatever be the time, whether after 100 years also they'll be relevant. Because you can't forget your history, your heritage. You have to know, keep it for the future generations to know what has been the history of the nation, what has been the heritage of the nation. They'll always remain relevant, whether it's social media, era of social media or not of social media. Right now we are using social media for promoting our museum. We are using other forms of media also to promote our museums. Basically, people should know that such museums exist. Like Delhi has got a museum there's a National Gallery of Modern Art, there's a National Museum, there's a Rail Museum, there's a National Museum of Natural History, there's a Crafts Museum. They all preserve one part of the history and the heritage of the country. So they are very, very important for the society as such. They are very important as a tourist attraction. And well, that's it.
So, if you had to describe it in one sentence, what do you hope every visitor feels or takes away from the museum, the Pradhanmantri Sangrahalaya, when they visit this place?
The main takeaway is that democracy has very, very solid roots in India. It's not like other countries. Democracy has survived here continuously without disruption. We have elections and the Prime Ministers change, the government changes. That is one major takeaway that with the visitor to this place gets.
So, from a broader perspective, how important is it to showcase or to preserve the nation, for a nation to preserve the legacy of prime ministers of that country?
I think it's very, very important because Prime Minister is the chief executive of the nation. And the work of the chief executive impacts the organization, impacts the state, impacts the nation. And right now, in recent times, we have seen how important is the chief executive, how many changes he can bring about, how many changes have been brought about in the nation under the present Prime Minister. So that really impacts.
So finally, what message would you like to share with the youth of India and leadership for public service and contributing to nation's building?
See, you have to contribute. Everybody has to contribute to the country, to the nation. And whatever contribution you make, that is the only thing which is important. What you leave behind as a legacy, that is important. So everybody has to put in his best in whatever one is doing, whether one is a student, or one is a bureaucrat, or one is in the private sector, one runs a company, one owns a company. You have to excel in whatever you are doing so that you are able to contribute to the growth of the nation. And that is the message I have to give. That you have to contribute and then you have to maintain very, very high levels of integrity and value systems. So that is one area where a lot of trust is required. Integrity has to be of a very, very high level in whatever one does, whether it's financial integrity or professional integrity. So the youth have to realize it's very, very important to deliver, and that too honestly.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being with us.